Hey guys and gals, Malkuth1974 back at you with another episode of our single mod survival. In this case we're using Industrial Craft 2 experimental for the majority of our Let's Play. And in between we do have some other mods that help pick up the slack that IC2 cannot actually provide. Last time we left you we were working on a reactor that is run off Steam, and we kind of had to leave it halfway through because the episode got a little bit long, but I have done some work that we need to show you before we get back to the reactor. One of the things that we needed to make for the reactor were turbines, and turbines are very expensive. This is actually part of the recipe right here, but turbine. So these are the turbines we need, the steam turbines, and they take 3 of these steam turbine blades each, which is steel ingots or refined ingots surrounded by refined iron plates. Well, that is an extremely a lot of stuff, and those wear out, by the way, so you have to replace them every once in a while. I don't know how long they last. I've never really checked, but they do need to be replaced. I'm sure they last a few days here or there, but my old system where I had set up that was making refined iron was not cutting it. It wouldn't even keep up with one of those reactors. So I had to come up with a new automated system, and this is what I came up with. This is 3 blast furnace. I built them into the floor over here. They are all completely automated, meaning that they get their compressed air done, and they cycle all the product through, and it ends up going into this chest. We'll go downstairs to take a look at how this actually works here. Which way should I go? No, we can't go that way. We'll have to go this way. There we go. So we can see the piping system down here. Basically I just have some Buildcraft pipes that pull out of the blast furnace, all 3 blast furnace. They come down here, this iron pipe, make sure they don't go back. They basically go to this diamond pipe, which separates the empty cells into the black line, which goes down here, which goes into the compressor. It recompresses them back into O2. The O2 gets sucked back up in, and it goes back into the actual blast furnace. Now each blast furnace has one of these clay transport pipes. If you don't know what these do, these are basically insert pipes from machines, and it will check the machine to see if it's full. If it's full, it goes to the next one. In this case it will go down there, which will be that blast furnace, and it keeps going down the line until it fills them all up. There's only enough compressed O2 in the system to fill 3 machines, so I don't have to worry about any backlog or missing anything like that. Everything else goes into this thing and up into the chest up there. Again, it's completely automated, so I don't have to do anything anymore other than fill the heat generation or whatever it is that I might have. It produces quite a lot. I've got a lot more than this. I've probably got about 3 stacks so far since maybe about 10-12 hour period, I would say, since the last time I was on here. So yeah, that's how that works. I usually take the slag that I get out of here and I go and I put it over here. I should actually set this up to work like this, but slag and a thermal centrifuge will produce iron and small gold and something else. I don't quite remember what, but anyway, let's make some of this stuff that we need. I already have some of the stuff. Let me see, refined. I'll grab a bunch of these. We can grab 64. That'll be enough. Should be enough. I already have some. So I need basically 12 stacks of these plus 12 stacks of that. I just have to wait until I get this coming back. Hopefully it'll be here in a second, and then we'll be able to make the things that we need to make. Again, these are expensive, but it's meant to be, you know, end game stuff. There we go. So we can actually do what we do. Are these stackable? Yeah, they are. Okay. So there's my 12, and we can put that back into the system like that. Don't have to worry about it. So we just go like that, which will make 4 of our steam turbines, which we'll be able to run our system with. So let's go back down and set up that system again. Hopefully we can get it running today. We should be able to. We got most of the major things done. We still have a few things we have to do to get this going correctly. Obviously, the first thing we need to do is we need to put the turbines in here. So I'm going to fill these up with turbines. These go into your kinetic steam generators. I got 4 of them. That's why I got 4 of these. There we go. Don't forget that they need the fluid ejectors. All these need fluid ejectors, including the condenser, which is what's going to recycle all of our distilled water in this system in here. That distilled water system is contained within these fluid regulators. It fluctuates everything through here. It will also pull any water that is in this system. Sometimes these steam turbines, they get condensation. That's what this means right here, and it fills up with water. If you don't pull anything out, or actually I believe it goes in the condenser anyway, but if it doesn't get pulled out, it'll fill up and your kinetic steam generator will shut down. So there we go, there's that. There's one last thing that we have to do. All of these liquid heat exchangers, they require heat conductors, so you have to put them in like that. They also there we go, like that. These also require us to have a fluid ejector. Or do they? No, I'm sucking out, ain't I? So I don't think I need a fluid ejector. No, I don't. Alright, yeah, so it matters how you have your system set up if it needs a fluid ejector. If you need a fluid ejector, I believe it would go right here. But since I'm using the Buildcraft pipes to suck these out, we should be all set. We do need to have these set up, though. Just like that. Just like that. And just like that. And we have to set them up. I don't know why I didn't set them up in the first place. Energy pulsar. Energy pulsar. That will pull the liquid out for us. In this case, it will be coolant. There we go. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need them right here. Do I have any more wooden fluid pipes? I don't. Let me go get one more. There's an easy way I can check this. I already have a system like this set up. Well, not like that, but from a piping system. Yeah, you do need it because, yeah. So let's grab some wood pipes here. Wood. We got one there. All I need is one. And I will need, do I have any? That, no I don't. I will need cactus. Give me one of those. Bring that in. I need to redo that uranium. Wood pipe. Okay, this. Nope. It will be actually like this. There we go. That'll give us 2. We should still have 2 basic gates. I kind of stole a gate because I still don't have any ender pearls yet. Hopefully we'll remedy that situation next episode when we get the whole mass fabricator system running after we fix our power issues. So let's go down here. These are the pulls. We gotta go like this. And I could have easily just put redstone engines on these, but I really don't like the redstone engines. I really don't. I think they're lag prone and not a very good idea. But whatever. So that should pull the liquids out for us, and these will place them where they go, right? Yep, that goes down there. Yep, so that's the fill. Alright, so now we can move on to here. So we just got to make sure that this one does not have a fluid ejector. This is the fluid going back in, the cool coolant. And this one has a fluid ejector. That is the hot coolant going out. It'll go into the pipes. It'll fill up the pipes. Or it will fill up the system. Hopefully I'm going to get a backlog of stuff. The thing about this system is that if you backlog, and this is the dangerous part of how we're going to set this up, If you backlog in here and this gets full, you'll overheat your reactor and you'll start melting the setup that I have. We'll show you the setup in a second, but just be aware of that you need, the system cannot get backlogged or you will melt down your reactor. What I was talking about last episode is when I put the reactor redstone port here. If you look inside the machine, touching is this block and the actual reactor, and there's no other block touching. As long as you don't put the redstone pressure valve on the part where it's actually touching the reactor core, the reactor inside, then when we set this up with a lever, and if the core ever melts down, what will happen is the core will start melting down blocks, and if one of these blocks breaks, your whole system will shut down, which will also shut down your reactor inside, so it should not ever melt down. It's from what I read online. But if you put it right here, then this block will always be connected to the reactor, which will have a redstone signal to it, and it will actually melt down your reactor. If you your reactor will stay on even if these come down, because this will turn into a normal block, which will be powered, which will still be powering your reactor. So always keep your lever away from your reactor blocks inside. That way, if you do get a meltdown, you have a backup system where these will melt before the reactor explodes. So that's always a good idea. Alright, so we need to go back upstairs and we need to start setting this up. I need to empty, no, actually we need to do one more thing. We need to test and make sure this system is working. We also need to fill it with distilled water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split these up. You know, I have my distilled water and my coolant system that's been running since what, episode 7, episode 8. So that is why I set that system up. Other than making overclockers, this was the reason I set that system up, because making distilled water on your own is very time consuming, not including the coolant cells, which actually is better to make with distilled water. So remember, when you first start out in your game, you're going to want to hook up a distilled water system almost right away. So I do have all these set, right? 1000, 1000. I'm just turning it up as fast as I can because it doesn't really matter, but you just want to make sure that it's all set. So I'm going to put the distilled water into the system just like that. And oh, these do need to be powered, by the way, and I'll fill that one right up like that. And we do need to power this, so let me hook into the system downstairs. This won't take too long because we have a wire right there, so we should just be able to bring that in. That should power that up. It should. Is it? Yeah, there it goes. So it's getting powered up and it's distributing. What we need to see that the steam generators are getting distilled water, and that's why you fill it up here to make sure your system is going right. And we'll check this side, and this has distilled water too, and the system is on. We can see it's on right there, and this one is not on yet because it doesn't really need to be, right? I'm not sure why this one would be on. Showing as on because, oh, did I not set it? No, I didn't. Alright, so 221 and 1 tick. There, now it's on. So those are all in there. So this whole system is ready to go. We just need to get the hot coolant and the reactor going. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the stuff I need for that, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So some rules that we got to go over if you got to set up the reactor. I'm going to set up first. We need to put the coolant into the system. You do that by placing that just like that, and that will start filling up the coolant. And once we get the system running, it will actually start running it. I'm going to use as much coolant as I possibly can. So I'm going to fill it up. So hopefully, because of basically it will be running in here, and yeah, we just need to keep everything going as good as possible. So again, I'm going to go to the reactor access port. All you need for this build is overclocked heat vents. That's what makes doing this so awesome. It's a lot cheaper when it comes to the heat vents. Heat vents can cost you a lot of money. Of course, this system is not cheap, but once you get this running, it's a forever system, and all you ever have to worry about is this. So it's the initial startup cost is a lot, but I guess the initial startup cost is a lot in pretty much every reactor. The only difference is that this reactor will gain you much more EU than a normal reactor, because you use a lot less fuel rods and it produces a lot more energy than you would normally get. So here we go. I want to set this system up the way it goes, and we will continue. Hopefully I got enough of these things. Pretty sure I did. This is a very good adjustable system. It allows you to set the heat by setting what kind of fuel rods you have in the system. In this case, we're going to set it up to do 400 EU, a 400 EU system. And let me see, does that go like this, this, and that, and that, and then this one goes like this, and no, it goes like this, 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 and this. So this is the actual setup. So now we need to put the rods in. Now this core that I know of can go up to 800. If you set up this way, it can go up to 800 HUs. But I'm going to set it up for 400 because this system can only produce 400. Can only suck up 400 heat units. Again, that's something you have to pay attention with building this. You need to make sure that the system uses all of the hot coolant, because if it builds up into here, it will overheat your system, and these will burn up right away. In my test game where I was testing this build, it literally will burn away in seconds, and these will all start disappearing, and then your core temp will go up. And luckily, the safety valve does work, and it will melt one of these, and it'll shut it down. But you'll lose a lot of your overclocked heat vents, and that is something you do not want to do. So first, I'm going to put 2 of these in the middle like that, and I'm going to put like this, like that, and let me see if I can remember this correctly. I believe I have one like this, one like that, and like this, and like that, and like this, and like that. Pretty sure that's how the system goes. We can adjust that after. Of course, it's not on because we don't have the system on. I do need to get a lever, so let's go get a lever. Do I have any levers? No. Do I have any in here? No. Alright, so give me some wood. Give me some wood, damn it. Give me one of those. And I should have that, but give me a couple of those. Alright, we'll just wait for that to come over. Everything's running. I did have to reset my quarry because I did let this run. I went to bed last night. I let this run because I wanted these to build up. That's where I built up most of my refined iron. I just let it sit. Unfortunately, these ran out of fuel before I actually ran out of the stacks. But I got enough out of it to get us built where we need to be. I'll grab that. Let's grab this, that, blah blah blah. 4. I'll make 4 of them. I need some more over there. Actually, I'll make 8 of them. You can't count. There we go. And then we're gonna go mess with the system. I forget the configuration I had set up to get it to actually 400 HUs. That's okay if it's a little bit hot right now. I want it to build up in the system anyway. So there we go. Actually, should have put that on the other side. Now that I think about it. So actually, no, I have it set up. I want it at 416. I do want it to build up a little bit. So what you see now is that the coolant is being turned into fuel, to hot coolant. You can't see it because it's being fed into the system, but that is the hot coolant right there. And then eventually it will get put into here when the system gets built up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to overcharge this a little bit. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull a couple of these out. Like I said, this is a very adjustable system, so I can go just like that, which will raise the HUs. You can see right now it's at 704. If I want to get this to 800, I just pull out most of the little ones, and I can just go just like that, and it will just keep building up heat to about 800 EU if I wanted to. What I'm waiting for is to make sure that this gets built up inside there, which it is. We can see the hot coolant is building up, which is in effect should be going into here at some point. Yeah, they're building up. Let's see. I am going to turn these down a little bit. Just go like that. That will turn it down. And I'll reinstall these. That should turn it down to 400. But I want it to overbuild just a little bit, which will bring it to 416. There we go. See how I'm just moving stuff around? I'm just paying attention to what the HUs are, and the temp is staying just like that. We did build up plenty of fluid, it seems. So hopefully this is doing its job. Oh crap, did I do that again? Of course I did. So I don't have what I need actually in here. There we go. These will eventually build up, I believe. I might have to... I do have to get down there to see what's up. The initial startup, of course, don't forget to power what you need to power to get that to work. So these are building up. These pipes aren't building up though. He's filling up. Yeah, you definitely don't want them to fluctuate like that. We just have to have these pipes get a little bit better off, I would say. This doesn't seem like it's keeping up very well because we've already filled the system. And enough coolant in there? Yes, I do. Now this is something I added. I didn't actually build this in my test world. This is something I added in this world, so I didn't know. I don't know quite if this can keep up or not. It's definitely not making me happy. Of course, this has to the steam generator actually has to build up too to actually I think it has to get to 370. So that has to build up on both sides. It is building up, so maybe we'll be fine. This side is building up too. It's not as hot as the other side. What I could do is, if this is going to be an issue, I could set up another extractor to this to help this out, I guess. So there's plenty of coolant coming out. Oh, there it goes. That starts firing up. Yeah, see, these are definitely not keeping up. I know directly coming from the system, it definitely will work if I hooked it directly up. If that fills up, can we... Oh crap, see, so there we go. It's starting to melt down because I let it heat up a little bit. Damn it. Okay, we'll shut that down. I wasn't paying attention. You see how I lost some of them? That's because they started heating up. I wasn't paying attention to this. It just takes a little bit for that to overheat and you're in trouble. But I got plenty of hot coolant in here, so we can figure out. I can figure out how to set this up. So I'll be right back after I figure out a solution to this problem. The problem is that these extraction pipes are not quick enough to keep these loaded up. I do believe. So I'll be back. Guys, I am back. Everything seems to be stabled up. I rebuilt the system inside. Only thing I'm not happy with is the amount of coolant. I'm going to fix that right now. I got some more coolant things here. What I mean by that is I definitely want this to be full, but as you can tell, everything is running at full steam. And what I did is I forgot that they had emerald pipes for extraction pipes for BuildCraft. These are much faster. I put 2 on each one. The whole system is extremely fast now. It's not gonna we're not gonna have any issues keeping up, but I definitely want more coolant in there. So I need to go back upstairs because I have my regular suit back on. I need to get some more to get more stuff in there since the system is using pretty much using the coolant 1-to-1 right now. I need to make it a little bit hotter to get some more coolant in the system, hot coolant in the system, for we don't have to mess with that. Let me get these on. We got 2 of these. Put that back. We got everything. Our boots. Yep. All right. Let's just grab these back. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ones that we already used. We'll heat that system right back up. We'll get some extra coolant in there. It'll be cool. Well, it's not coolant, but we'll just get this system circulating a little bit faster. Make sure everything's still running. Yep. Alright. That looks good. Alright, so let's pull these out. Pull these out. Pull these out. Pull these out. And I'll stick these in. This will only take a second to fill up. There we go. To get this to 800, all you have to do is add just a few extras like this. And what other ones? I believe we have to double these ones. I'd have to double check the system. There is a way to get it to 800. Until some of the coolant is being used up. Once this coolant starts getting sucked up, we'll be cool. Let's see here. These are running good. So these right here are producing. This one's producing 50. That's the top one, and this one's producing 100. And these calcification chambers are turning the water. I actually should add. Yeah, I should add heat vents to these. It makes it a little bit faster. Add heat vents for faster progress. We got to make sure that these stay there with distilled water. I'll worry about that in a second. Just want to check this out. Still not using it all up yet. So here we go. We can see that the system is getting a lot more hot coolant in it, which is what I want. The system down there is full, which is what I want. And we just need to make sure that we're producing this. It should start sucking these up at some point, I would think. Looks like these are starting to burn up. I might have to turn this down a little bit. Pull these out. Yeah, there they go. I forgot the configuration. You can mess with the configuration a little bit to get it, but this can get to 800. I just have to remember how I had it set up. It's a certain way. You just have to add some extras to it here and there. Sucking up the coolant. Okay, I'm going to turn these down now. And I'm going to replace these with these. That should get it to 430, huh? I don't think I want it at 430. No, it's going down. It should be going down. Should be. Maybe we'll go like this. 420. 320. So that has to go like that. And 400. So this configuration gives you 400. If I want a little bit, that should equally pull, I believe, as much as it's producing. I'll mess with that a little bit later. The condenser is keeping up, which is quite surprising. Usually it can't. But let me go make some heat vents. Just normal heat vents, by the way. So the system right now is producing only 300 EUs. It can produce 600. I just have to have the other part of that installed to do that. We have everything off? Yes. Where's my helmet? Oh, there it is. And we'll put these away. I thought I made some of those heat vents. Guess not. Let me look in the system. Heat. No, I didn't. So just these normal heat vents. I need 1, 2, 3. I thought I made these. I don't know why I don't have any. I'll take 6 of them. We'll let those build. Oh, they're not anywhere to be found. That's fine. Sit here. Alright. I'm going to wait for these to be built and I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. I'm just checking out the system, make sure it's all set. I am manually filling this. Instead of waiting for this to do it, I've been manually filling the coolant by hand. That way I know we have plenty in there. There we go. Again, we all remember my system that I built. So that's basically what I want. I want that to be my visual cue as to what I have and where I have it. So that makes me very happy that I have that visual cue. Again, this should be a 1-to-1 ratio. I shouldn't have any issues losing all of this. I mean, it's going to fill these pipes up down here, so this is going to lower a little bit, but again, that's fine. The coolant is flowing, and what I was doing is that you need to put these heat vents in here. I find that 2 usually do fine. And I just want to make sure that I still have my distilled water. So basically, since I have these attached, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure these are sharing distilled water. Yeah, so see how it's I got plenty in there that's waiting to be put into here. It goes through here, gets sucked out through here, and we're just making sure that these steam turbines do not have any issues. Somebody said if I pull this out, yeah. Yeah, so that definitely is not the case. Okay, so that works. I was just testing something. and we'll double check our energy output, making 50 there and 100 there. Again, I'll explain this in a second. 50 there and 100 there. So what's going on here is that, again, the superheated coolant is going into this one, and it's making 400 KU output, which is giving me 100 EU. Then just regular heated coolant, or not coolant, I'm sorry, I mean superheated steam is going through here. Steam is going through here, which is producing 200 KU, which is only producing 50. So each steam generator produces 150 EU. And then it goes into the condenser where it gets turned back into distilled water and gets recycled through the system. These are basically pipes that go down and replace them into here to keep the distilled water going. Again, 221 bars and only one. Don't set that any higher or you'll totally screw up your system. Let's make sure this is still running good. Yep, as long as the coolant stays in there, you'll be good. And eventually I will add another one of these, which will make me upgrade this to 800 HUs, I believe, which should produce 600 EUs per tick. And there's all my coolant. It's all set. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a long pause. You guys aren't going to see this. I'm going to set this room up the way I planned it. Now this is ugly, as you can tell. I definitely don't want it to look like this. And I actually have a plan to make this look more industrialized than it is. So I'll be back, and when I get back, we'll have this built up into what I want it. And we'll go from there. And then later on, I'll build the second one of these systems to do that. I also have to build an MFE to place right there. And I have to rewire my system down there. Right now, it should be directly going into my system. If we go upstairs and we check out that little MFS, it's not even an MFSU. This might not even be taking anything. Nope. That thing has never ever been filled. I don't know why. But these should be getting plenty of power. And this should be getting plenty of power. Of course, I don't have enough. That's a whole nother issue we have working over here, trying to keep this thing up. But yeah, power-wise, we should be much better. I do have to rewire this whole system to figure everything out. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. So I've been working on fixing up this room, making sure everything's running alright. I did install an MFE. I haven't installed an MFSU yet because really, I'm not sure there's any reason to yet. Eventually this will be replaced with an MFSU, but for right now, 512 EU per tick coming out of here. So all of the reactors now go into this, and now this is the new room that I set up. Don't know if it's all that great, but whatever. So eventually I'll have another set of pipes over here, and hopefully another one of these will be probably right in this area right here. Everything seems to be running okay. I haven't had any issues yet. These definitely seem to last a little bit longer. I don't know if I can hook up the monitoring system to this or not. I'd have to go look it up online. I'll look that up. But anyways, I enclosed this to make it look like more like a steam type oven type system, like it's supposed to be. We got some glass in here. You can see all the little doodads in there. I moved things around a little bit for I wouldn't have too many issues with this not working. Again, my IC2 hot coolant is there. You can tell it's always at the same level. So if I ever see that going down, that means that is an indication that something is wrong with the system. But it has been running great since I've been in here, and since I've been doing this, and we got ourselves another system running. And once I get another one of these up, this will be producing about 600 EU per tick. So there you go. That is a reactor access or reactor pressure vessel that is doing coolant, and that is my method of making it go. The great thing about this setup and this is what IC2 should be to me, or why it's so much more complicated. It's because you can come up with your own little thing of how there's many ways to build this. I mean, it has a flow chart that you have to follow, but I mean, a lot of people, you know, you can make your own little steam oven out of it to make it look like a steam oven, and you can come up with your own little ideas of how you want it to work. Again, this whole system right here, this steam oven right here, basically produces 300 EU. And when I make another one, it'll produce another 300 EU, and we will up this to be able to output 800 HUs without any problem. It's been running this whole time without any issues. You can tell the fuel rods are going down a little bit. So there you go. So hope you enjoyed that, guys. Next time we will work on doing the mass fabricator stuff and replicator and all that stuff. So until then, guys, this is Malkuth 1974. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe button and stuff if you like this series. It helps me decide to keep recording or not. So if you do like this series, I'd like to hear from you, or any ideas or anything like that. So, Malkuth, outta here.